This creature may look like a prop from a horror movie, but it actually exists in real life. Stick around to learn more. You are watching Myopic Mind, and today we are covering 12 animals with fascinating genetics. Number 1. The cross fox. This is an incredibly rare and majestic cross fox, which was once abundant in America until they were largely killed off in the late 19th century thanks to the high demand for their unique fur. Cross foxes are almost identical to red foxes, but they have a larger, bushier tail with more woolen feet. The cross fox was given its name thanks to the long, dark stripe running down its back, intersecting another stripe to form a cross over their shoulders. Their incredibly unique coat is the result of a partially melanistic variant. Melanism is basically the opposite of albinism, meaning that an abundance of dark-coloured pigment is produced under the skin. Although melanistic foxes make up about 30% of the Canadian fox population, they're still a very rare sight to see, but there's an even more exclusive kind of fox. Number 2. The silver fox. These mysterious foxes are a fully melanistic version of the cross fox, created through years of breeding. As you can see, they have a glossy black undercoat with a top coat that looks like they've been dusted with silver, as well as some white colouring on the tip of their tails. One thing for sure, you'll be incredibly lucky to see one of these foxes raiding your garbage bins. Number 3. The Blue Lobster. Lobsters caught off the Atlantic coast of North America aren't usually very colourful. Instead, they tend to be a murky greenish brown. But in 2016, 2 fishermen off the coast of Nova Scotia made the news when they caught not 1, but 2 vivid blue lobsters in quick succession, just 150 kilometres apart. Netting a blue lobster is usually considered a sign of good fortune among the region's fishermen, so it seems like these guys got double the luck compared to the normal person. In fact, the probability of the creatures having this vivid cobalt blue coloration is widely touted as being around 1 in 2 million. Considering around 200 million lobsters are caught in the North Atlantic every year, that equates to about 100 blue ones turning up annually. Blue lobsters get their dazzling cobalt hue thanks to a genetic abnormality that causes them to produce a unique compound called crustacyanin. But it turns out blue isn't even the rarest colour crustacean you can hope to catch. Number 4. The Crystal Lobster. Back in 2011, 2 Dorset fishermen hit the ultimate jackpot when they netted this albino or crystal lobster near Portland Bill in Weymouth. These ghostly lobsters are caused by a genetic condition called leucism, which leaves them with no pigment in their shells. Without any camouflage, it's incredible that these stunning crustaceans haven't already been eaten by a predator. In fact, the odds of finding this little guy is estimated to be 1 in 100 million. You have a higher chance of winning the lottery than finding these elusive creatures. Have any of you ever seen an animal this rare in the flesh? Whether you spotted the creature in the wild or at a zoo, I'm genuinely curious to hear about it, so let me know in the comments below. Now, let's get back to it. Number 5. The Goblin Shark. 2 miles beneath the ocean where even sunlight can't reach, there is so little food that there aren't any creatures to be seen. This is the spot where you can hope to encounter the formidable Goblin Shark, one of the most terrifying creatures to ever live on planet Earth. These nightmarish creatures are an average of 11 feet or around 3 meters in length. At these incredible depths, the most abundant food are the scraps of flesh that float down from the middle of the ocean. But these sharks are not scavengers. They actively hunt their prey, and squid is their favorite meal. Goblin sharks have a unique technique that they use to close the distance and catch their prey. Their jaws are attached to several folds of skin, allowing the shark to throw its jaw out and latch onto their food. That extra reach allows it to grab its lunch, and the backwards pointing teeth prevent the squid from escaping its death grip. And once the meal is over, the jaw pops back in place as if nothing ever happened. These sharks have been found near the coast of Japan and are actually named after the goblins in Japanese mythology. Number 6. The King Cheetah. Notice anything out of the ordinary about this cheetah? Take a closer look at that magnificent coat when compared with its run-of-the-mill counterpart, and you'll see what makes the King Cheetah so well sought after. This stunning big cat has a rare mutation that produces cream-coloured fur with large, blotchy spots and 3 distinctive dark white stripes extending from the neck down to the tail. At first, it was thought to be a different species altogether, before it was discovered that the fur pattern was caused by a recessive gene that promoted the overproduction of melanin in the skin. Back in 1926, Major A. Cooper shot a king cheetah and noticed how the fur was thicker and darker than normal, so he named it after himself. Imagine, you kill an animal and then name it after yourself. That takes some nerve. Thankfully, the English zoologist wasn't impressed and renamed the animal Acinonyx rex. Rex translates as king in Latin, and the king cheetah was born. This elusive big cat is one of the rarest animals in the world. There are only about 30 or 50 individuals present on the entire planet. As few as 10 of those are thought to exist in the wild, while the others are in protected parks and wildlife reservations. Number 7. The silver-pied peafowl. The silver-pied peafowl originated in 1992 in the United States when it was discovered by 3 different breeders around the same time. The silver-pied peacock is primarily snow white with about 20% of its body possessing some colour, specifically around its neck and outer feathers. Although albino peafowls may exist, almost all white peafowls suffer from a rare genetic condition called leucism. Leucistic peafowls can produce pigment that cannot deposit the pigment in their feathers, resulting in blue-grey eye colour and complete lack of colorization in their plumage. In some cases, peafowls can be affected by partial leucism, which results in birds that are half-coloured and half-white. These super rare birds are known as pied peacocks. Number 8. The golden tiger. Rather than being a separate subspecies, this glorious big cat, sometimes called a golden tabby tiger or strawberry tiger, is a colour variation caused by a recessive gene known as a wideband gene. These fabulous felines have gold-coloured fur, which is thicker and softer than the regular tigers, with pale orange stripes. Although it is a different version of the Bengal tiger species, golden tigers tend to be considerably larger and can weigh between 240 and 500 pounds. The first ever golden tiger born in captivity came from 2 Bengal tigers at the Adriatic Animal Attractions in Florida in 1983. When 2 of these tigers are mated with one another, there's a chance the offspring will be white because this variety also carries a recessive gene that is responsible for the slightly less rare white tiger. The golden tiger is so rare that, to the best of modern knowledge, it only exists in captivity today. Even in this protected environment, there are only 30 or fewer golden tigers in the world. Number 9. The Golden Macaw. Parrots are already some of the most colourful creatures in the world, but this Golden Macaw takes the cake. These seemingly solid gold birds are incredibly rare and get their dazzling colour from the excessive production of a yellow pigmentation known as xanthochroism. The mutation is already related to the lack of the production of red, which is instead replaced with yellow. Xanthochromatic birds are known as lutinos, and they're incredibly sought after amongst avian enthusiasts. Lutino golden macaws are a variety of the blue and gold macaw species, but instead of having a black beak, claws and facial features as well as the usual vibrant blue hue and gold feathers of the standard macaw, the lutino has golden feathers and white feathers. Its eyes are a pinkish grey instead of black, and even its tongue is white. Because of their colour and rarity, the pale birds are worth a significant sum of money, and xanthochromatic birds are deliberately bred to maintain the lutino strain. Number 10. The albino turtle. Albinism affects pretty much any animal you can think of, but some are harder to come by than others. Albino turtles, like this one, are some of the rarest creatures in the world. This tiny white turtle was discovered by researchers on a beach in Queensland's North Shore coast, Australia, in 2016. 5 volunteers from the Coolum and North Shore Coast Care Group first saw the albino anomaly while gathering data on turtle nests and named him Albie. He was just one of 122 hatchlings that made their desperate sprint to the ocean, but this albino straggler was left lying on his back. According to Colin Limpus, Chief Scientist with Queensland Government's Threatened Species Unit, only 1 in 10,000 animals are born albino, but Albie is far rarer. Only 1 in 1,000 sea turtles will survive to maturity, and albino turtles' chances of survival are even slimmer because they have no camouflage. Limpus estimates that albinism in sea turtles probably occurs in one of many hundreds of thousands of eggs that are laid. There's no record of an albino turtle living long enough to nest, so Albie will likely have a tough life ahead of him. Number 11. The Okapi. The Okapi is the closest living relative to the giraffe. Okapis were officially discovered in 1901, making them the last large mammal discovered in Africa. They were once dubbed the African unicorn because an Okapi sighting was incredibly rare. Why the mismatched outfit? Scientists aren't sure, but one of the prevailing theories has to do with increasing their visibility so Okapi young can follow them through the thick brush of the forest. The Okapi's big ears can pick up on sounds far and wide, keeping them aware of prowling leopards. They don't talk much though, and they're only interested in company when it's time to mate or when raising their young. These loners might look like a genetic experiment gone wrong, but in reality, they are masters of stealth, and their low-frequency calls can travel far distances through the rainforest below the human range of hearing. In this way, they can avoid any kind of detection or conflict with other creatures. But recently, due to deforestation, poaching and disease, their numbers are dwindling. There are said to be less than 10,000 of these creatures alive on this planet, and if conservation measures are not taken, this beautiful creature of nature might cease to exist. Number 12. The Axolotl. Axolotls are members of the Ambistodotuli family and are native to a very small region in Mexico. Axolotls were revered by Aztecs as their capital city was built on islands and lakes inhabited by the creatures. But when the Spanish settled in 1521, they drained the lakes and built their city in its place, a first step in driving axolotls towards extinction. As Mexico City continues to grow and population levels rise, the axolotl population is pushed further and further towards the brink. Today, wild axolotls can only be found in Mexico's Xochimilco Link Complex near Mexico City. Axolotls are unique amongst salamanders because they are neotech, which means that they reach adulthood without going through metamorphosis, so they retain all of their juvenile features. While most salamanders will lose the gills in their dorsal fin as they get bigger and emerge onto land, axolotls will keep their feathery external gills and remain underwater permanently. Interestingly, axolotls can reach maturity and go through a metamorphosis in extremely rare cases. This has been accomplished in the lab by injecting them with a shot of iodine, after which they more closely resemble their relatives. Axolotls can measure around a foot to 30 centimeters long, fully grown, and they have long lives of around 15 years in the wild. But the most interesting thing about them is their intense ability to regenerate. Many amphibians do have the ability to regenerate, but axolotls blow the competition out of the water. Not only can they perfectly and seemingly endlessly regenerate limbs, but they can also regenerate their spinal cord, jaw, tail, and skin, all without scarring. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. These videos take a lot of time to create, so any feedback would be appreciated. And don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss out on a video from My Optic Mind.